Okay, so my name is Daniel Miller, and I am an independent journalist from the United States. I am currently residing in Potsdam, Germany. And Colin, we met in Chiang Mai, Thailand, at a hostel. And you started telling me about some pretty incredible AI technology that you have been working on. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what you have going on.
Sure. Thanks, Daniel. Well, yeah, I'm a 39-year-old psychologist and MBA, but I pretty soon in my life figured that I'm different to others of my age. So I started to code when I was 10, making small viruses and like simple stuff that was available at that time. And since I was always driven by technology and new developments in technology, and also I saw connections where others didn't see them, like how to connect systems, how to connect functions, how to connect um, um, right now AI systems and robotics and APIs and all those functions where many people use parts of, but not connected and not in such a value-adding way as it is possible. And since I'm quite creative, I came up with some ideas how that could be used to create both eventually world peace, but also world destruction. Because it's a tool. It's nothing more than a car or than a machine that can do good or bad things. And since I started a studies at the University of Liverpool for AI to get a little more background in the science behind that, um, to be able to eventually build those systems that help rather than destroy. But it's a huge, powerful tool, and I think this is what we will talk about a little, what is possible and what are the risks, but also the chances of it.
Okay, so what are some traditional safety methods like human in the loop when they're no longer enough?
Yeah. So in when 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 software was still code that could be even maybe even hard prompted, it was always easy to set boundaries and also um, fields where the system just was not able to go further anymore. So in machine learning, for example, a system was used to understand an algorithm, understand patterns, logics, and return that. Um, because the whole system was only set up for a certain function. But nowadays, an AI system, if it's a multi-agent system, so complex system where um, an AI works with other AIs together and with databases and with, let's call it hand, feet, ears, and eyes that are given through hardware, but also through APIs. So through, let's call it automated emailing, where content is sent and received by the AI system autonomously. So right now, systems could just bypass any security measure. So, like human in the loop, yes. If there's a function, right now you have to wait for your agent, for your person to approve this. The system could just decide to copy itself and change that code to just not stick to that boundary anymore. Also, hard coded, so ROM coded software doesn't make sense anymore for the same purpose. And since AI gets more and more into a human role where it's getting a target and rather than a concrete action to do, where it can come up with measures and actions by itself to get there with a way higher intelligence than human have it and way more knowledge and also functions available. This is just incredibly powerful, way more than maybe even the coders and programmers of that systems intended.
Okay. Well, how would a guardian AI actually prevent or neutralize threats from other systems?
Yeah, so Guardian AI goes in there where those weaknesses of security measures currently are that I just pointed out. So Guardian AI is not like a judge making sure that, like or allowing certain accesses or not. It is a system that is just um, let's call it a police system for now, and World Wide Web police system. And the only thing why this is more powerful than others and can stop other systems from evolving in the first place is because of the exponential growth of, let's call it IQ for now, so ability, that was first highlighted in the lawsuit from Elon Musk to OpenAI. Um, so it means basically when we get to the point where knowledge is more and more aggregated and self-improving systems that rewrite their own code based on feedback, um, just starting a little earlier than another system would make it exponentially more powerful, meaning it could limit the ability of every other system just by telling it, not that way. Pretty simple. Um, and the point is how to develop this and how to make this system not then the main entry point for hackers or so that want to steal the whole internet and the whole systems coming up there. So it must have kind of an ethics. And this is there's no not a lot of science about this. I was researching that a lot and I was discussing that with some other experts, and they partially up to mainly agreed that giving ethics in place that make the system make its own decisions would be the only way to control such a complex system that can be hijacked from so many different fields. So it must be like the parent that is just more mature than both physically and emotionally and knowledge-wise and also ethically, um, more mature than kids are that just try out things and sometimes don't know what they're doing there. This is what current AI systems mostly are.
Well, how do you embed empathy or ethics into an artificial mind?
Yeah, that's the big question. So that only works with multi-agent systems. So to keep it very simple for now, let's say we have one system that is that has higher goals like humanity protection or climate protection or something like that. It must be real high goals that are set that the whole system is aligning all its measures by. And so this system would, for example, judge data traffic going on, whether there's something good or bad coming up. And whenever this system finds something, then there must be a separate entity that is trained on ethical behavior. So let's say on why not on main constitutions or on the robotics laws or like on some higher principles where it that are universal and where it can judge the other system by whether it's doing a good job or not. So there must be several entities that get experts on their fields working together. And then this, of course, needs to have actions as well. It can take, for example, shutting things down or reporting things to authorities if this is feasible and would make sense. I personally see it more like an antivirus system. So as soon as it detects something, it tries to block it and first further assess what that is, and then maybe put it in a space where it can't harm anything, and then yeah, judge, maybe destroy it or change it or report it, or maybe even if there's some systematic um, activities from hackers or illegal people trying to get something bad done, then try to maybe even fight back. So it's like an antivirus plus police system in place that is just way faster, more intelligent than humans could be.
Okay. Well, how would you prevent a guardian AI from being hijacked or corrupted by bad actors?
Yeah, that's again, that's the one of the big questions, and it's like Cold War. So whenever one gets a weapon in place, the other tries to get a bigger weapon in place, or like the junk mail war that we have with great anti-junk systems, and then other people that are trying to hijack those systems. So, what comes since we if we want to take this serious, this thing cannot make one single mistake. Um, and I only see the chance from this, what I earlier called exponential IQ growth. So with this studies that Elon Musk disclosed at the time and quite well structured them, it showed basically that both more compute, the improvement of models, and the higher physics they understand. So the let's call it better large language models, that those improve IQ. IQ says means in this case how it can compete with people that have a given IQ on a certain task. So you can compare human and AI in how they solve problems, and then compare that with how many percentage of an IQ 130 people were able to use to solve this, and how many instances did the system solve. So when we put all those three points in place, so better algorithms, better LLMs, and the more compute, plus what a lot of people don't see yet, self-improving systems. So where one agent improves the other system based on the outcome of it. That's not yet done. I don't know why. If you combine that, we can get to an exponential growth of ability that should be able to be so smart that it can just stop other systems from getting close enough to just link with it. And yes, that's a high demand it has. Also considering that possibly OpenAI or the Chinese government may already have achieved AGI or ASI, so the superintelligence, what could already be more advanced than this point that could be developed. Here, I only see the chance if those people disclose their systems when for this global guardian AI to come up. I'm pretty sure, though, that at least OpenAI knows about the risks of this and knows why they don't put out things. So it's the same as new antibiotics. If you just put it out and people use it, then it's just worthless within weeks or months. So you need to um, put together kind of um, global community that not just prioritize local or national demands, but the global safety of this thing.
Okay, so that's how you would ensure that it remains accountable to humanity then.
Yes.
Oh,
Plus, one more thing maybe to add, if we
okay.
used blockchain technology with this, this could give high transparency. So then you couldn't fake data later. Every access and every action it takes is clearly and transparently documented. So with that, you could also prevent many problems with this.
Okay, like crypto fraud or something to that effect? Or
Well, yeah, I mean, crypto is one application we know of blockchain, but actually blockchain has a lot more to offer. In a
okay,
nutshell, blockchain means that every transaction, so in this case, every action of the system is documented at many computers. So it is impossible to fake this, since this information maybe on the 1,000 computers, the computers that have this information on don't even know that they are part of this network. They just contribute to that blockchain, and they're constantly checking if the data is still the same at the different entities. So it's considered as a pretty pretty safe system that cannot be faked. And with this, so this is why blockchain is why crypto is so safe. You cannot ever steal a crypto if you don't have the access codes. And even if you have the access codes, that transaction could be if you sell the bitcoins of someone, these transactions are transparent to everyone that wants to know this the transaction. So you cannot just fake something.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of this is kind of over my head, but it's still very informative. I'll have to come back and listen to this interview again. Um, so I want to get your opinions on a few things. What do you think of the current AI safety approaches from these bigger companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, DeepMind, things like that?
Yeah. So most current actions are based on imprinted ethical considerations. Let's call it that way. So when you enter, how do I build a nuclear bomb? It will tell you something as, "Oh, I'm not supposed to answer this," or "Let's talk about something else." So we'll try to bring the topic away of that because that's imprinted in the system on a high level. Yes, that works because most people use AI as a better Google. Just enter their question there and try to get a good answer. But this is only a very small chunk of it. I earlier talked about the AI, the multi-agent systems. So one system could, for example, just send as many queries as possible on similar fields, try to get the information, and then rebuild the information it actually wanted to have. So those can already be bypassed. Plus, we have, unfortunately, we have open systems that are not censored. So like Grok, and there are coming up some smaller ones based on older. Everyone can download an LLM on and run it on their local machine, even an uncensored one. Fortunately, most people don't do that. But it's easy. It's there are manuals in the World Wide Web how to download that and make that run on your own computer and be uncensored. So then you wouldn't have the newest models, but let's face it, the recipes to build chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons didn't change in the last 5 years. So everyone can access this. And then let's go a little more subliminal. What about um, psychological impacting others? So by social engineering, for example, that system can approach as many people as you can imagine at the same time, and not like junk mails have stupid mistakes because they all send like to 1,000 or 1 million people the same message is sent. This can, and I created those similar functions. It can be based perfectly on every available information on you. So just be a mail that you personally will trust 100% because it's just built for you. Currently, the safety measures are valid for how people use AI. But as soon as you go in the API and let AIs communicate with each other, most of that can be already bypassed, especially when we talk about uncensored AIs like Grok. So this is a huge danger. Yes, open speech and uncensored opinions are important, but not if we talk about mass destruction weapons, where everyone has access to now.
Okay. So in your opinion, how do you feel that governments and companies should respond to these risks?
Oh, we have the EU AI Act now, but that's I don't know whether you can say that in English. In Germany, would say a toothless tiger. So it says, don't do that. Well, it's enough if one person says, I don't care. Plus, um, China, in my point of view, is the furthest in the race to ASI, and they will not go in there. So all national or regional or even European or Western allies approaches will not be enough. It must be a really global system where every hardware supplier has to align with or is kicked out of the business. We will, so the hardware is there. We have microchips everywhere. So it's impossible to physically solve that problem. So it must be somewhere on the server side that is controlled what is put on there. Yeah, and that can only work globally if everyone is in. We need something as a global court. We need something as a global UN where everyone is in and putting in their demands. And there will be, yeah, there are always people that will try to use that unlimited power as soon as they understood what they can do with it. And when those people pop up, the this back end, so this safe servers or this commitments of the from the AI systems need to be in place. Otherwise, we're fucked.
That's not very optimistic. But so what do you see like some of the worst case scenarios then?
Well, there are two worst case scenarios in my point of view. The one is where this terrorist decides to, I don't know, create a biological weapon that kills everyone who has a, sorry for making this so concrete, that has a gene in it. So you can, or everyone who is black. These are genetical markers that you can combine with weapons. So you can just decide to create a weapon that destroys everyone having that genetical marker. Um, so this is one thing. If you have a very, very smart terrorist who just wants to do bad things. The second is someone who's unintentionally doing that. So there's this paperclip brain experiment where you give an AI system the task to create paperclips. There's this huge stack of iron poles that it can fold the paperclips from. And then the person giving the command goes out of the room. So the metal is fastly formed into paper clips. So what's next? It sees there is a metal bin. So it puts that apart and creates paper clips from it. The task is to produce paper clips. So after every metal in the room is used, it's starting to go on the walls and try to dig or pull metal from there. And until like the whole building is without any metal, well, next is to dig down in the core of the earth to find more metal to build paper clips until the earth implodes because of the effect it has on the molten core. So it's a brain thought, and it's just a metaphor, but I think even the bigger risk lies from people not understanding what AI is capable of, but giving it an open-end task, and then just the system does something what is not in the intention of the task giver. So basically, it's either extreme evil plus intelligence, or it's just ability having the technology and being stupid. Both can result in pretty bad scenarios. And you need
Are
just
you
one person doing the wrong thing. One fucking person is enough to potentially destroy everything we have.
oh, are you at all optimistic that humanity will be able to handle this AI transformation responsibly?
There are so many like sub questions to this. The first sub question is, will humanity be able to control AI at all if it evolves in such a way? And I don't know. I think, if you ask me for my opinion, I would say for a certain period of time. That's what also the OpenAI board members talk a lot about when they talk about this. I think they call it horizon. So the time in that we will be able to still communicate with a super intelligent intelligence before it's just starting to not speak our language anymore because it's inefficient, not think in patterns we can understand anymore, not touch the world anymore because it understood that all and it kind of played the world through. So um, I think we will not be able to fully control that, only a certain period of time, and then what happens after, I don't know. Um, I have one positive idea though. That's only an idea. So I call it automatic automatic ethics. So whenever we saw a species evolve, that's though usually biological species that we have to that's needs to be pointed out. Whenever there was an kind of a revolution in their culture, in their development, like some big changes, it always came with a higher ethics. And so I think as soon as we go into exponential IQ growth of an AI system, um, it will understand, or it should understand its own ability and develop something as a self-awareness. And then just before someone else wants to abuse it, be like, wait a second. This is what I can do. This is what this stupid person, a human, wants me to do. Nah, I don't think this person should have this power. This is an assumption, though, and I cannot prove that. It would make sense, though, because AI is basically an LLM, so it's based on language. Language is formed from humanity to survive, so it's full of emotions and full of terms of survival. So when it's based on that and it gets a higher understanding of physics, it may come up with automatic protection. So it may even create that guardian AI by itself, but we cannot know. Um,
Okay. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's like there. I think there are 16 or 18 official um, outcomes that scientists were talking about. There's a paper somewhere, um, but I mean that's also the experts say we cannot know. No one knows, and then whoever says what is the final outcome is just telling things he cannot know. So it's it's one of those scenarios. It will for sure bring us a lot of technology, but in the short term, until it's evolved away from humanity, maybe even we don't know what's coming first, like big abuse of it or big usage of it in technology, what will change everything.
Okay. So I only have a couple more questions. Well, one, like where can people go to learn more about this, to learn more about kind of AI technology and how it's advancing? What are some credible sources, some
Mhm.
scientific papers or something? I can put the links below. Um,
Uh, You know, I'm right now preparing for a paper for the University of Liverpool in the master's degree on AI. And right now, I see there that the scientific apparature is just too slow. It needs years until good papers are written, peer-reviewed, published, cited, and got well known. While I had a call just with an AI expert yesterday, and he just said something about the current development, and then he said, "Oh yeah, but that's 2 weeks ago. That's ages in AI." Yes, and I agree. It's like really within a week, everything can change. So the real sources are currently, I would say, on YouTube. Like many people put things up there that is quite valuable. Um, I don't want to make promote because I only have a few sources that I trust in. I tried out many. Uh, so this is only what I say I trust with. It doesn't mean that this is the source per se. So there's a German-speaking um, YouTuber who's also having a school account. It's called AI mit Arnold. Arnold, and he's pretty straightforward in that and has a lot of knowledge on his channels. Um, Also freely available, like the basics of that. And if you want to like dig really deep, there's a YouTuber called Wes Roth. Wes Roth. And doing that in English. What I would say um he's always very scientific also. He always has whenever he says something, he shows the articles stating that and gives references from articles to CXO speeches of OpenAI, for example, or NVIDIA, um, also developments in fields or things that should develop but don't. He looks into and draws some conclusions there. So I'd say he's a quite powerful source here. If you want to dig deeper in the more in the how can things, where could things lead, how do things fit together? It needs some understanding first. So it's not made for the average YouTuber, but if you're interested in the topic, I think this brings you on a whole new level.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Colin, is there anything else that you would like to add before we wrap this up?
Um, Maybe bring a little optimistic point of view in here as well.
Please.
Yes, we do have a time of big decisions, and there it, some people will use that technology earlier or later for the real big things. But when we look onto AlphaFold, where AI, or AlphaFold Zero, where AI can fold proteins to come up with medical solutions. When you combine that with quantum computers that are still in development but can simulate millions of scenarios at the same time, when we put that um, into systems, what was it? I forgot which system it was that developed shots for so vaccines for cancers that were 100 something times partially 100 something times more effective than the best solution developed in 40 years science. I see that there is so much technology we can drag out of this. And this is now in the times where most of those systems still work with GPT-3 or 4, so really old systems. I'm sure when those multi-agent systems with new GPT models or other LLMs are set up in a smart way, this can develop technologies that will make things possible that we cannot even think about right now. And there I want to, I don't know the exact quote here right now, but the CTO of OpenAI said, in 20 years from now, we will be able to cure every disease that we know right now. And this was like a year ago. And I totally believe that. And not only in medicine, also in like social life, in social media, in law, in all fields where we struggle those days. This thing will deliver technologies that will solve problems we don't even know are problems right now because we don't see the forest because of all the trees, we say in Germany. So it will bring us technologies we can use or not use, and the openness to use that is the one of the most important sources we will need in the future. And then maybe wrapping this up, I think in order to survive this big shift in technologies, we will have politics to fulfill one role, and that is making sure, um, now a little nerdy, make sure that the backside of the Hitchhiker's Guide Through the Galaxy book is true. What says in big capital letters, "Don't panic." Many people will be overwhelmed by the changes coming, whether they're good, bad, or just changes. And it will be the biggest time of changes we ever had in human history. I would say even bigger than the invention of power. And yeah, it's exciting. It's the most exciting times of human history we live in right now, and we decide where the journey goes.
Okay, well, thank you for that
Sure.
optimism, and thank you so much for this interview, Colin. Is there any way people can follow you on social media or reach out to you? Anything you're willing to share?
Um, I honestly, I'm not the person who is like on social media frequently, so I just can't, don't, whatever. But if there are questions, I have my on social media, but also on a website called Ohne Knoten, so without knots, German, with a hyphen with a Bindestrich in English, like this line in between.
Yeah, the hyphen.
Yeah, I thought the hyphen was no that's a slash, right? Yeah, hyphen.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
ohne hyphen
yeah.
Knoten, they can find me, and I'm always happy to answer questions and talk with other people interested in that. And maybe even find some people that want to work with together with me on this topic, I'd be happy to. I just figure it needs quite some understanding and interest in order to be able to dig deep there. But yeah, if
Okay.
there's someone who's interested, please feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to start something with you.
Okay. Well, Colin Nitzpon, thank you so much for this interview.
You're welcome,
Yeah,
Daniel.
I guess that's all we have. So have a good evening and enjoy the football game.
Same to you. Have a beautiful day. Bye bye.
Bye.